All right, everyone, welcome. My name is Kate with Scarlett Roy Marketing. Today, I'm going to be going over print marketing in the Command platform. So with that, we are going to take a look at how to create a flyer using Command, as well as the listing presentation, how to access and kind of edit that for you to use. So first things first, you want to make sure you are logged into Command. Um, I always like to mention the home screen here can look a little bit different from each Command account to the next. This home screen can be customized so that you can see what is important to you and your business first. Or if something is not important at all, you can also turn that off. So if your screen looks a little different, that's okay. There is that customize feature for you to kind of edit this. Moving away from our home screen, we want to head over to the Designs applet. Now, if you're not familiar with these applets on the left-hand side of the Command platform, you can hover over those to find the name. It will show you. You can also hit this red and white KW to expand that menu bar and see all of those applets at once. Now, again, we're going to head into Designs. It looks kind of like a paintbrush with a canvas behind it. And to close that menu bar, you can hit that red and white KW again. Now, once you are in the designs overview here, you're going to see that you're able to see some previous designs that you've created. These are going to be designs you've created in the Command platform. So if you haven't created any just yet, or maybe you just have one or two, that is okay. These are not templates. They are designs you have created in the system already. You can search for designs. You can filter based on the type of design you are looking for. There are 4 options: email designs, social, print, and video. You can sort those based on newest to oldest, oldest to newest. You can change the layout from a tile view to a list, whatever you prefer. You can import a design, and we can also go ahead and create. Now we're going to go ahead and hit import design first before we come back and create. So we're going to go ahead and hit that. And once our screen loads here, you will see that you are being redirected to WeBrand, okay? You should see WeBrand in the search bar. WeBrand is where the designs are created in the Command platform. So once you're under WeBrand, you will have the options for templates. Those are going to be the KWRI provided templates, so designs that you can use and customize to use. You can find images, which is going to be a great place to come and find different stock photos that you may want to use. You can find your projects. Again, a bigger overview of all of those designs you've previously created in the Command account. You can also organize them by folders. You can create a new design from scratch. You can, again, use the templates. You have the ability to import any PDF and begin editing. You can also remove backgrounds from images. Now, moving next to projects, you also have your assets. And we're going to start here. So you're going to have a couple of options when you're in assets. You're going to have the Keller Williams International provided company assets. You're also going to have your own. These assets are a great way for you to keep some consistency, build your brand, and make sure all of your marketing is kind of going in the same, trend. So again, build your brand, be consistent with your marketing. So there are KW assets, which are going to offer you theirs. So you have their palettes, their color schemes for generic KWRI, land, and luxury. You have some fonts you can choose from as you're creating designs. Moving down, you have images. This is, again, a great place to find some stock photos. If you come into these folders, you're going to find different types of photos that you can use in your designs. So lots of folders there. Moving down, you have text. Again, KWRI's assets, they include the disclaimer, the ownership statement, different things like that. You can also find some generic lead gen, text, sports and entertainment. So there's a bunch of different options here. Moving down, you have logos. This is where you can generally come to find the KWRI logos. You'll find that you have the KW generic logos. You can find the Where Entrepreneurs Thrive. You can find the informal KW. So lots of different logo options here. You'll also find luxury, um, Red Day, the NAR and equal housing logos. So there are a lot of options here when you are looking for logos. Again, commercial, sports and entertainment, etc. Moving down to elements, these are going to be kind of like symbols or icons that kind of allow you to identify certain pieces of information or, just little designs. There are a bunch of different ones that you can kind of look through. Again, these can be used on your marketing as you're creating it. You can also have videos and files. Now, videos do need to be a public video on YouTube or Vimeo or a similar platform. Files, those are going to be PDFs. As you can see, KW has the design addendum and style guide for you to access. And again, all of these different assets can be used when you're creating your marketing through the command platform, through designs. Now, what's great is you can also build your own marketing materials. So if we switch from company to my assets, this is where you can come in. You can build, again, your brand. You can add your colors, your fonts, your logos, all of that stuff so that you can easily create your designs and have all of that accessible right away. So first things first, you have colors and fonts. You can come in and build your own color palette. All you do is click Add New Palette. It's going to add a new one. I'll go ahead and rename this. We'll just do 918 print. And you can, of course, remove some of these. If you have too many, you can come in and delete those. But you can start building out your colors. Now, if you have more than 6 colors, you'd want to create multiple palettes, but all of the colors will still be accessible as you're creating designs. To add colors, you're just going to click that little plus sign and you can start finding whatever color you'd like to use. Once you found it, you can move on, find the next color. We'll just grab one here. Not very pretty, but that's okay. You can also use the dropper. Let's say you want to pull in a color that you've previously used. Let's go ahead and grab this red. Let's say you want to grab a color from a logo that you had created or an image that you have. You can use that dropper to pull in those colors. You can also use this little arrow it's a little hard to see, but you can change this. If you have a hex number, you can use that. So lots of different ways for you to find colors you may want to use for your color palette, okay? So we'll just grab a bunch of colors here. That'll be our fall color palette. So we have a new color palette. Now you can also add your own fonts. Again, a great way to be consistent with your marketing and use the same font throughout. You can upload a font that you have. You can also search the web fonts here. As you scroll through these, if you find one that you like, you just simply toggle that on in the right-hand side and hit add. It's going to add it to the top of your fonts so that you can start using this in all of your designs, okay? Question in the chat, how can I select add? It's not. Are you under my assets or company assets? And are you referring to the fonts or the colors? All right, we're going to keep going. Moving down to images. This is a great place to add any photos you are using frequently in your designs. You'll definitely want to add your headshot here. If you have QR codes for different things, you can add those here. Those are great to add to your marketing. Anything like that you can add here in your images. I have seen this take a little while to load, so just be patient with it. It will load. But you can add your photo. You can add your logo here. We generally recommend adding that to logos, but either one is fine. But yeah, any photos, QR codes, this is a great place to get those added. Again, you can organize those by folders if you want to. Maybe you work with vendors on a frequent basis and put them in your marketing and you want to have their photos here as well. This is a great way to do that. Now, if you added your headshot and you want to remove the background from that, like Scott's here, you can upload that and then click the 3 little dots. It's going to have a remove background option. Now, clicking that is going to add a new photo right here with the background removed. Now, keep in mind not every photo is going to work out great. For example, this military one. The contrast between the logo and the background is not very good. So as you can see, when it tries to remove that background, it doesn't work great. So in some cases, this works wonderfully, and others, you may have to kind of play around or find a different image to use. Again, those three little dots, you have the option to use, view, download. You can do tags, remove backgrounds, duplicate, copy, delete, all of the good things, okay? Oh, perfect. All right, so once you have all of your photos, we can move on to the next option. So this is going to be your text. Many of these items are going to pull from your marketing profile. So those will generally pull from there. Other things will pull directly from your command account because it knows that that piece of information is there. It used to pull the branded consumer link. I don't see it right now, but you can, of course, add your QR code to your branded consumer link. You can add your website, etc. Okay. Moving on, you have logos. This is a great place to add your market center specific logo. Okay. You can also add generic KW logos if you're able to use those. You can add your own logo here if you've branded yourself or you're on a team. Again, you can organize those into folders. It's a great way to keep them separated. If you're not sure where to find your market center logo, that can be found by coming into Command. And once you are in Command, you want to hit Connect in the top banner. Now, once you're in Connect, you want to go ahead and just search for logos. It will pull up this top one for logos and branding, and you're going to go ahead and click that option. Now, once you click that, you're going to see this big red image here. Just go ahead and click on that. It's actually a link. And it will redirect you to this logos and branding site. From there, if you scroll down, you can find some generic KW logos. Again, many of these are in your assets for the company already. You can also click on this option to get your Market Center logo. Now, if we do that, we're going to be redirected to an Excel or to a Google Sheet. I'll go ahead and drop this link in the chat for you guys. This is going to have the Market Center logos. Now, I always like to point out that they are not alphabetical and they are not numerical. You cannot edit this. So I always find that it's easiest to find your logo by doing Control F on your keyboard and searching for whatever market center you are looking for, okay? You can type in the numbers. It's going to pull up any market center that has that number in it. So as you can see, we have 657. If we click the down arrow, we're going to find 265, and so on and so forth. Find whichever office is yours. And then you have two links. One of those is a preview where you can check the logo to make sure it is the correct logo you are looking for. And the other option is to download, okay? We'll do preferred for this one. So you just click that little link. It's going to download a file for you. Let me just switch my screen here so you guys can see this. It's going to download an entire folder to my computer. Now with this folder, I'm going to unzip that or extract it. And then I'm going to find my new folder that's unzipped. And I want to check out the black and white and the CMYK folders, okay? So we're going to check those out. You can see that I have different color options, different formats. I have one with a square background that's white behind it, as well as some with transparent backgrounds. If I go back, I also have that CMYK, and this is going to give you the color options, okay? So we have all white, we have gray and red, we have the two different backgrounds. Quick little disclaimer, not every office has every single logo available. So if you are not seeing all of the color options, all of the formats, whatever is available is what your office currently has. Also, if you are not finding your office on this spreadsheet, you want to reach out to your Market Center staff, okay? They'll be able to provide you a logo. Not every office has those logos through KWRI and that are available on this site, okay? So if you are one of those few offices, definitely reach out to your staff. They'll be able to guide you where to get that. All right. Now, once we have our logos, I'm going to go ahead and upload those. So let's go ahead and do add asset. And I had 625 downloaded. So let's go ahead and do those logos. We're going to add more. I'm going to grab the other color options. Grab those three. Then we have a total of 7 files. I'm going to go ahead and upload. It's going to add them right here to the top. I can, of course, add a folder if I want to. I think that was 652. 265. My brain. Goodness gracious. All right. There we go. So now we can move those up into that folder if we want to. Make sure it's blue behind you, and it will drop those into that folder. You can also select multiples, move them all at once. There we go. So now we have all of our logos in that folder. So that's a great way to find and add your logos. Moving down, elements, similar to KWs, if you have symbols or icons you'd like to use frequently, you can add those here. Same for videos and files, okay? We don't have anything in those. That's a great place to add those so that you can easily create designs using those. All right, so those are assets. Check the chat really quick before we go to the next sheet. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to my regular command screen. We're going to go to the home screen. And this time we're going to go back to designs. And instead of going to import, we're going to go ahead and hit create. And this time we want to do print and next. And once we do that, you'll see that we're brought into a similar screen that we are seeing here, okay? We're brought into projects. We just want to head over to templates, okay? So either option is going to get you to the same place. But templates is where you can find those KWRI created templates and start customizing them for yourself. So as you can see, we have a bunch of categories on the left-hand side. Within each of those categories, we're going to have other categories, okay? So you can come in here and find whatever you might be looking for to create, and you can start creating it, okay? For this first one, we're going to look at a flyer, and we're going to go ahead and go into listing, and let's go ahead and create an open house flyer. Now, once we're under open house, you'll see that we have some options up here. This is going to allow us to narrow down the design that we're looking for. So if you are looking to create a social media piece, if you are looking to create a door hanger, postcards, etc., you can click on those and it's going to remove anything that does not fall into that sizing. We're going to do a flyer, like I said, open house. So we're going to click flyer and it's going to give us all of the available templates that we can look through. Now, that is not to say that if you find an open house flyer you like, you can't use it for just sold, just listed, or whatever else you might want to use it for. Maybe you want to create a piece about yourself. You can customize these. They are fully customizable by you, the agent, okay? Let's go ahead and pick one. I'm going to go ahead and go with this one in the bottom right, and we're going to go ahead and just hit use. Question about videos. We don't really cover the videos, but if you have specific questions, I can come back to that at the end. We will not be covering the website at all in today's class. That is on our Tuesday classes, so you want to check our calendar for those or visit our YouTube for previous classes. All right, so let's start editing this, okay? So as you can see, we have our marketing item here in the middle. Over to the left, we have the templates that we can get back to. We have images, text, logos, elements. For print marketing, you'll also see QR. You have the KWLS as well as animation and support. So as you can see, many of these are the same as what we just looked at in our assets. Now, when we are under these different sections, you'll see that we have stock photos in many of them. We also have workspace. Anytime you see workspace, just think of the company assets that we just took a look at, because you're going to see the same folders and the same images that we were viewing in those assets. Okay, so workspace is company KWRI assets. And you should also have your assets. Same thing when we go through text, you'll have add new. You'll have banners, which kind of look like stickers. You'll have company assets and then your own. Company and your own. Okay. Some of them will have a stock option or something like that, but they will always usually have the workspace and your assets. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start customizing this flyer over here. First things first, let's go ahead and replace our logo. So anytime you want to replace something, you can generally click on it and then find the item you are looking to use. And if you are clicked on the item that you are under, so we are on a logo, we want to replace it with a different logo, you'll have a double arrow. That double arrow is going to allow you to replace the exact photo that is over there. If you're not clicked on the item and you hover over here, you do not have the replace. You can, of course, add new. That's going to add it to the top of your design as a new photo. Okay. Let's go ahead and keep moving. Let's go ahead and switch out our photo. So let's come to images this time. And we want to find Scott's photo. And same thing, we want to just replace. Now, if you want to zoom in or crop that, you certainly can. Once you've cropped it how you want, just hit done. My search bar. And then let's go ahead and find our listing. Okay, so I'm going to click on the photo and we're going to come down to the KWLS. Okay, and hopefully I don't get an error today. Let me grab this listing that I had pulled up. We're going to search the listing. You can search by listing address, MLS number, the KWLS ID, the listing agent, or the co-listing agent. We're going to search. Every once in a while, people will get an error right here when searching that says Keller logins or cloud logins. If you are seeing that error, the quickest way around it is to open an incognito window. Okay. You also want to try clearing your cache and cookies. Make sure you're using a Google Chrome browser. All of those things will allow you to go past that. All right, we're going to go ahead and grab the listing right here. When we select that, you'll see that we have all of the photos that are available in the MLS. We also have all of the details, okay, down to the description of the property. That allows making our design very quick, very easy. Again, if I'm clicked on the photo, I can replace it, okay? So we're going to replace. Now you can, of course, click on that, zoom in, zoom out, move it around, whatever you want to do. Go ahead and hit done when you're finished. We can also switch out our photos from the house. Let's just grab a couple. Just going to pick random ones. That one. Swap out your photos. Once you're done, you can start swapping out the rest of your information. So we can get that listing price from our details. Come down. Now it is going to replace whatever is over here with exactly what you see on the left. So if you do not want the USD over here, you can delete that. And obviously we don't want this to go on to the second line, so we just want to expand that line. We want to replace our address. Let's go ahead and just replace. Now, one thing here, if you want to replace the bedrooms and bathrooms and you use this replace, it's going to replace all of that information with a number 5. So in this case, it's going to be easier to type that out, okay? So I'm going to open the typewriter and we're going to switch it to 5. And we'll do 10. And then let's grab our square footage. All right. And once I'm done, I'm going to hit Save Changes, and it's going to plug that all in. Now, you can also double click here and start typing. Some things it's easier for me to double click and type. Otherwise, I like to use the typewriter for certain things as well. So you have both of those options. Let's go ahead and replace our description now. Let's go ahead and swap that. Now, as you can see, it is much bigger than the one that was previously here. Now, a couple of options. You can, of course, trim that down. It does not have to be as long as it is. You can also adjust your design if you want to. For the sake of saving time, I'm going to delete about half of this. And maybe more than half of it. Let's remove some more. Oops. I'm going to use my typewriter really quick. Let's just delete this portion. All right, so there we go. We have enough to fit in that space now. Now we get questions on these lines over here. Some people like or don't like them. You can delete this if you want to. You can also just move it around, whatever you prefer. It's just decorative. Come see yourself. You can change out your date and time. Let's go ahead and switch this out. Let's do Sunday, September. What is this weekend? The 21st. Now again, we're going into the second line. We're just going to drag that over. We're going to leave it 11 to 2. And we can come down here and start editing this information as well. So again, sometimes with the smaller text, I like to use the typewriter. You can also zoom in. I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So you can also use this plus sign and minus sign down here. You can zoom in really big on your design and then just double click. Totally up to you there. All right, we're gonna go ahead and replace our other information. Can't see that, or can't type today. All right, and then we'll leave the phone number as is, but I do need to make that box a little bit bigger. Or I could change the size of it, whichever one you prefer. You can do either or. Once we have our design created, we talked about branding. If you want to use your colors, your fonts, you can click on any item, you can change the color. If you want to find your palette, you can just click down here, find whatever color you are looking for from your palette. Just make all of this one green. Okay, we're going to leave the other colors. If we want to switch that logo now, because we did that, we can of course replace that. Maybe not use the red, didn't really go. We can also change our text here. Say we want to make that green as well. Say we want to change our font. If you had one of your own fonts that you selected, you can come up here and find it. You can also just pick one. You may have to make that box bigger or make your font smaller, whichever one. We'll leave it like that. Now, let's say you did want to add a QR code here for your app or your website. You can do that. You can plug that on here. That way they can scan it. Move that down here in the bottom. May have to shuffle things around. That's okay. Make sure you are checking with your Market Center staff for any compliance that you may need to require on any marketing materials. Your Market Center staff would be the best to give you any specifics that need to be included. Definitely reach out to them for that. Just do that. All right. Once you are happy and satisfied with your marketing material that you've created, you just want to download it, okay? This is for print, so we're not going to go over the animation. If you did want to create a QR code in here, instead of on your, or instead of an app one, let's say you wanted to have one for the specific property, we can go ahead and grab that QR code, come back into our design, go to QR code, enter that URL, and then generate. It's going to add a brand new QR code. So if you wanted to use that one instead of your generic website one or app, you could do that as well. Okay, so that is how you use that QR code. It's very easy. Again, only available in, I believe, print marketing. So you won't see it in some of the other design types. Alrighty, let me take a quick look at these questions. Margie, flyer page again. How did I get to this flyer? We'll go over how to get to another design, so hopefully that will catch you up. But if it doesn't, let me know and we can go over that. two KDB logos on the same flyer. When it comes to logos, check with your market center staff for compliance purposes. If you're part of both offices, you should be okay, but always check with your staff for compliance. Yeah, you can also create these in Canva. Designs have just been partnered, or this has been available longer than the new KW Canva partnership. So they both do the same thing. They'll just have different templates and different features. So it is very similar. All right. If I skipped your question, I will come back. So hang tight. Now we're going to go ahead and download this. Now there are a few options. You're going to want to do either PDF standard or PDF for print. Print will just give you those bleed lines. So I don't usually have a problem either way, but you can pick whichever one you'd like and then download. Once you download, you should see it downloading down here in the bottom left, and then it will be available for you to view. Once you view it, you can then go ahead and print it. You can send it off to be printed, whatever you'd like to do. You then have your own custom marketing piece that you've created in Command. All right, and then once we're done, I'm not sure why we're kind of frozen here. All right, well, it doesn't usually do that. So if you run into that, there was a little close button up here. I'm gonna go ahead and do done now. And this design should now be available right here in my designs. I can come back and customize it. I can change it. Maybe I want to use the same template and just change out the photos for the house and the house information each time. I can certainly do that. I can just switch out the listing and keep using the same design. I can also just make a copy. If I want to keep this one and not edit it, I can also make a copy and then make edits to the copy. All right. Next portion of class, we want to take a look at a listing presentation. So for that, we're going to go ahead and hit Create Design, again, in the top right corner. Again, we're going to do Print, and we're going to hit Next. All right. Now, once we are in here, again, we're brought back into where we just were. We're under templates. We're under the open house. Generally, this portion of Command will bring you back to wherever you left off at, okay? So since we were under templates instead of projects, that's where it brought us back to. So that's why I like to make sure you can kind of navigate between each of those pages. Now for the next one that we're going to create, we're going to do a listing presentation. That is also under listing. I just want to point out you can also find a buyer presentation. It is going to be edited in the same way that the listing presentation is edited. So as you can see, there are a ton of different designs here that you can take a look at. Actually looks like we got a couple of new ones, so that's pretty cool. You can hover over these. It will let you know in the top left that there are multiple pages. If they have multiple pages, it will kind of start to shuffle through those pages so you can take a look at them. Once you decide on a template that you like, again, it looks like we got two new ones, so we'll go ahead and look at one of those today. We're going to go ahead and hit Use, okay? And that should redirect us. Should then be in the WeBrand editor. I'll go ahead and close this. Now, when you have a packet like the listing presentation that has multiple pages, in order for you to see and get to the next page, you're going to want to click this little button in the bottom right corner. It says pages and the number of pages, okay? We can then go through the pages, we can take a look at them, we can start editing each of them. You have three little dots where you can also delete or duplicate. So two options there. When it comes to these listing presentations in Command, it is very important that you go through every single page pretty much with a fine-tooth comb. You want to make sure that anything that needs to be edited is edited, and you want to make sure anything that needs to be removed, maybe that doesn't apply to you, your state, your office, or how you yourself conduct business. Anything that does not follow what you do in business, you want to make sure is removed. You also want to make sure anything that you do extra to make yourself stand out is added, that you are identifying those. So these are templates. They are meant to be customized fully by you based on how you do business and what's important to you. So Just keep that in mind. For this first page, there's very little that you probably need to adjust. You want to switch out your logo, of course. Same process. You're going to have the workspace and the assets, okay? Go ahead and replace. If you have your own branded logo, you can add one here. If you don't, you can just delete that. You can either use the trash can or you can just hit delete on your keyboard, whatever you prefer. I'll go ahead and add Scott's. You can delete this page entirely though, okay? If you wanted to. You could customize this to say something else. You could change out your name and your brokerage, but you could delete this page too. You could just start with this one. I think this one kind of looks a little like it should be included though, so I would probably customize these. Moving down though, your second page is going to be instructions. These are instructions for you, the agent. So you definitely want to make sure that this is removed before you give this to a client, okay? Again, it's just going over kind of what I went over. Carefully review all written content. You want to customize this, okay? So if you do need to delete a page, again, those three little dots will allow you to delete. It's going to confirm, and then it will remove that, okay? Now you could use this as a cover. It does say custom consultation prepared for. You can put in your client's name. Then you can, of course, add your photo. Get Scott's. We'll just replace. You can replace the name. You can change that text and color if you want. Again, you can fully customize this. If you wanted to change the red to your green or to whatever color you were using, you can do that, okay? Let's see, it is all green now. So you could change everything that's red in here to be green if you want. I'm not going to do that, but we're going to make sure we get through all of the pages. You can customize your information. Again, you have that link for your branded consumer app. If you wanted to use a QR code here instead, you can. Again, you have the ability to create a QR code. Otherwise, if you have one already in your images, you can go ahead and add that here. Again, swap out your logo. For the sake of saving time, I'm just going to use the, I'm just going to use the SLM one right here. Again, if you need to zoom in to see any of this, you can zoom in, edit that address, change that photo out, and then you can move to your next page. So it's going to have a table of contents, kind of goes over that. Again, you can customize this based on what you've removed or added to this listing presentation. Moving down, you have some information about the property that you are trying to list. Again, customize all of those details. What's happening in the neighborhood? This is going to give them an idea of what's going on in their local area, help them understand why their house could go for this price, etc. So come in, edit all of this. Again, you want to make sure you edit your app code, things like that. For this specific image, this can be edited under the KWLS. Instead of listing, this is going to be your snapshot, okay? So you can come in here and grab a zip code. Let's just grab this one since we're right here. You can go ahead and plug in that zip code or neighborhood name, whichever you prefer, and search. Give us a second to load. Margie, I'm not on a flyer page. This is one of KW's templates, so you should see those. Whether you've created something or not, KW's templates should come up. Erica, our recording will be on our YouTube channel. You'll find this one within about 24 hours, usually by end of the day, but you'll find our last class if you need it sooner. All right, so once you have your zip code, you'll see that we have 3 different options. We can replace and plug that in. Now keep in mind the statistics that are pulling for this cannot be edited. So if you do not agree or want to use the stats that are pulling, you would want to create your own image, okay? And then pull that in. So you have these options. If you don't like the info, I always recommend just using the map if you don't like it, and then creating your own little kind of text box with the stats that you want to include. But once you pull a specific neighborhood or zip code, it's going to give you the stats that it can find and plug those in, but it cannot be customized in the design itself, okay? Moving down, you'll have comparable properties. This is where you can include some other listings in the area, helping you justify the price that you are recommending. Your needs come first. This is just for your consumer client. The process. This is another one that you want to pay close attention to because your process can be different from another person, another state. Not every state uses attorneys. So definitely pay attention to this. Edit and remove and add anything that is different in your process. But again, you can add new ones. You can copy both of these and create a new one and add it, whoops, right below. And you can add as many as you want. You can also delete those, okay? Moving down, you have your app. So this is a great way for them to learn how to download your app, learn how to use it, things like that. Again, a great place to either add your code or to add that QR code. Next, you're going to have your custom marketing plan. So you can add a photo here. Maybe you want to create or put something that you've created here. You can delete this and just add the text, whatever you'd like. This is going to go over kind of your marketing plan. Moving down, finding your buyer. You then have promotional assets. This is going to go over some of the things that you have available in Command that you can do for them to elevate your services. So brochures, flyers, postcards, you have all of this available to you within the Command platform. It's talking about your website. It's talking about email campaigns, social ads, and social posts. So all of those, again, available through Command. Strategic promotion, going over the coming soon, just listed. Your open house strategy, again, great way to customize what you do differently. It's all in the details. Eye-catching yard signs, just your listing amplified. Door knocking, professional photos, mass mobile marketing. Again, all things that you typically have available through Command. Your experience, okay? So this is a great place to tell them more about you, your bio, how many years in the business, clients served, your value proposition, all of that good stuff can be added here. The proof is in your numbers. You can put some information about yourself here, your numbers, or numbers in the area. Credentials and awards, these are currently ones that Keller Williams International has. I know they're a little outdated. You can always look and find your own new ones. You can also remove this page. You can add your own credentials and awards. So there's lots of options here. Leading in the industry, this talks a little bit about KW. Of course, the Y4C2Ts that you have, so you can talk about that. Your portfolio of excellence, so properties you've previously listed or sold. Client reviews, sorry. Promise to your client, so you can kind of customize this based on them. You're selling safely. This just goes over that kind of information again. If you have different things in your area that you have to do, you can customize this. The bottom line, so this is kind of a letter to your client from you. And then, of course, you have the last page, which goes over how they can get in touch with you, okay? Phone numbers, emails, etc. I know we didn't go through customizing each of these pages, but we did go through every page. If you have specific questions on those, let me know. Once you have this page or this book all ready to go, you're just going to do the same thing. You're going to hit download. You're going to select if you want to do PDF standard or PDF or print. If you don't want to print certain pages, maybe you're a new agent and you don't have numbers yet, maybe you don't have client reviews yet, you can remove whatever page you do not want to print. Here, you can unselect it, deselect it, and then you just download. And we'll give it a second. When you're downloading something like a presentation, it can sometimes take a little longer to download just because of the size of it. So give it a few minutes. Once this downloads, I want to show you how to share this with your clients digitally. I don't know about anybody else. I'm terrible with paper. If you give me a piece of paper or booklet, I'm going to lose it. My daughter's going to get it, whatever. I'm not going to have it. So I always like to show people how you can send this to them digitally after the meeting in an email or text message or whatever you'd like to do. So as soon as this downloads, we'll take a look at that. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to check the questions in chat. Margie, if you're still having trouble, we'll have time for questions, so I can definitely try to help you there too. Um, and that goes for anybody. If you guys have any extra questions, let me know. Um, I wonder if I can do this while it's downloading. I don't want to mess it up. Let's try. Um, there is this share feature up here in the top right corner, okay? We're going to go ahead and click that. And this allows you to share it different ways. I like to use the link, okay? So I like to change this to say that I can share it with anyone who has this link. And then I like to copy the link, okay? It says copied. Then I can take this link and I can email it, I can text it, whatever I want to do, Facebook message, however I was communicating with that client, I can send this link to them. This is going to allow them to view this booklet digitally, just like we are seeing it here. They can view it as magazine mode, whatever they want, and they can kind of scroll through each of these pages. It's going to have everything that you have. They can do full screen. I know it says edit. They do not have edit capabilities unless they are in your command account. So this is just the sharing view, okay? They can also download that. They can share it, whatever they want. But this is a great way to follow up after your listing presentation and share this again. Make sure they have it, if they have any questions, etc. So I love to do this. I think it's a great way to share it. But yeah. I think we downloaded, maybe not. Anyways, once that's downloaded, you can then print it, have it printed, etc. One thing I do like to mention though with this share feature, if you are removing certain pages when you are printing, if you are deselecting certain pages and you are sharing the link, it is still going to have all of those pages, okay? So the only way to remove those from the actual link is to remove them from the presentation, okay? So if you are wanting to remove pages, I maybe suggest make a copy of the presentation once you have it edited and then delete those pages from the copy. That way you're sharing just the information you want to. Okay. We're going to go ahead and hit done. And again, this listing presentation is going to be available to me here in a little bit. It should show, oh no, it is right there. Again, I can make a copy. So I don't have to recreate this every single time for every client. I can make a copy or just edit this one. All right, guys, that is our full class for today. We have about 10 minutes, so I'm going to hang around for any questions you guys have. If you don't have any questions, feel free to jump off. You can also email our support team. Our email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. Thank you for coming today. I hope this was helpful. And again, if you have questions, hang around. Let's go through them together.